Hello everyone and welcome to BodyBags. I'll be your reviewer for today. I'm Lonnie from Tats, and I'm sure you've already seen if you've been keeping up with the videos this week. This is a theme week, and we've been reviewing films that are. It's Halloween week, Volume 3, and so every movie that we review has to, be Halloween themed or take place on Halloween. And I decided I wanted to go with something a little bit against the grain, but still, this one I think is going to be a pretty good one. This is a 1993 animated movie from the Hanna-Barbera company, and I don't know, you may never have heard of them. I mean, they've only done these cartoons that, one's called Scooby-Doo, I think, and one is they did something called the Jetsons and the Flintstones and something like that. Someone called Yogi Bear. It's like, I don't know, maybe you've heard of them, but I don't think you really would have. But anyway, so yeah, anyway, in 1993, they decided to do a animated version based off of Ray Bradbury's 1972 book that is The Halloween Tree. And this is the one that I'm reviewing for today. And yeah, I think this is a really good gateway film for kids to get kids into like dark fantasy and to really get kids to gain an appreciation and a love for Halloween, and to get them to understand that it's more than just going putting on a costume, going out trick or treating, things like this. That there's more to it than that. And one thing that this movie does, okay, getting ahead of myself, the story is about four children. You have Jack Skeleton, who, or not Jack Skeleton, Tom Skeleton. Sorry, I'm getting him confused with, this guy. Wrong story. But Tom Skeleton. You have Tom, you have Jenny, you have Ralph, and you have Wally. And Tom, obviously, he's a skeleton there. You have Ralph, who decides to dress as a mummy for Halloween, and you have Jenny there, who turns into a witch. And for whatever reason, they did not put Wally on this. Yeah, they didn't put Wally on the cover. I don't know why he's not on there, but I don't know. But anyway, so the story starts off. They're getting ready for Halloween, and Wally dresses. I forgot to mention. It's like, yeah, okay, like Tom, he dresses skeleton. Ralph is a mummy. Jenny is a witch, and Wally dresses as a monster. So they're all getting ready to go and celebrate Halloween and have fun and everything. And they're kind of this group of kids, and their, I guess, leader, I guess is the best way to describe him, is a kid named Joe Pipkin, who is this kid here with the pumpkin. So they're getting ready for Halloween, and they're going to Pipkin's house, and they realize something is not right here, because Pipkin is a kid who loves Halloween, and he's he's kind of known as like the kid who's always got the best costume. His house is always decorated the best. He's kind of like he's got like the Halloween spirit more than the other kids do. And so he's kind of like the leader of this group of kids, and they always look up to him and stuff, and they always like him, and he likes them and stuff. But they go to his house and they realize, well, something's not right, and they see Pip is being taken away in an ambulance. And so at first they're not really sure about what's going on, and then they see it's Pip, and he's running through the forest, and they start chasing after him, but they don't realize that they're actually what they're chasing after is his spirit. So they come to this old house, this old creepy, scary, kind of haunted mansion kind of a thing, and they go and they're looking in the house, and they come across this character named Mount Shroud right there. And Mount Shroud, the voice is done by Leonard Nimoy. Do I really need to tell you who that guy is? Come on, we know who Leonard Nimoy is, or was, and may he rest in peace. But so anyway, it turns out that they find Pipkin's spirit there, and they go out in the backyard, and in the backyard there's this huge Halloween tree, and the tree is decorated, just filled with pumpkins, and the pumpkin represents souls, human souls. And so what ends up happening is the spirit of Pipkin, he grabs his pumpkin and he disappears, and it's up to Mount Shroud now and the four kids, Tom, Wally, Ralph, and Jenny. It's up to them to try to find Pipkin because they have to try to get him before the end of the night, going into the next day. They have until dawn. They need to try to find him. But the kids have a different reason for wanting to find Pipkin as opposed to Moundshroud. Because Moundshroud wants to get his pumpkin back and he wants to claim Pipkin's soul. And he sees Pipkin's soul as his property. Whereas the four children, they want to help and they want to save him because he's their friend and they care about him, and they each remember a time when Pip really helped them out of a jam, or they were in trouble or something and Pip got him out of it and everything. And so they just want to be good friends. They want to, he helped them, so they just want to return the favor, right? And so they decide they're gonna. It's a little bit of an unlikely alliance, but they're gonna team up with Moundshroud, and Moundshroud at the same time he's mad because these four kids are wearing these costumes. One's a skeleton, one's a mummy, witch and a monster and stuff. And he's like, he's asking them, "Do you kids even know why?" It's like, "Boy, do you know why you're dressed up as a skeleton? A girl, do you understand what it means to be a witch? Or do you know anything about, you dress up as a mummy. Do you know anything about the mummies and the ancient, the pharaohs and their traditions and things like that? Do you know any of this stuff?" And of course, the kids, they don't know. And so so Moundshroud decides to take it upon himself. It's like, yes, they're going to find Pip and get him back, but at the same time, he wants to educate these children on the traditions of Halloween, where a lot of these traditions came from, the history of Halloween, and what these things mean, what the jack-o'-lantern means, where did the tradition of trick or treating come from, and all this kind of stuff. And so basically, give them a Halloween lesson. And so they, the four kids, along with Moundshroud, they travel through space and time, and they travel back to the time of the Egyptians, and mummies and things like this, and they learn lessons about that, and what it was all about mummies and the pharaohs and things like this. Then they travel back to they travel to excuse me, Mexico to learn about Dias de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead, and their celebration of Halloween. Also, too, the tradition of monsters, gargoyles and stuff, and witches and everything else. And so, what you get though is this movie. It's, this movie is for kids, but I mean, obviously, grown-ups can definitely enjoy it too. But what the movie is really meant to do, yes, it is meant to be entertaining and tell you a dark fantasy story, but the movie is very much about educating kids. It's very much about, trying to make kids understand about, the traditions and the rituals and, what these things mean and how Halloween really came to be, and to try to get kids to understand it's not just about, putting on a costume and going begging for candy. That there's more to it than that, and that the deep rooted history of Halloween and everything else, and the movie is meant to try to teach kids about this kind of thing, and but also too there are some other very strong themes in here, themes of friendship and sacrifice, and friends helping each other and being there, and just you have a friend that you love like a brother or like a sister or whatever, and you would do, they would do anything for you. You would do anything for them, and helping each other and just, being a good person, being a good friend. And, so I mean, a lot of these lessons are really meant to be in this story. I definitely recommend it, and especially if you got kids, if they haven't seen it. And, it's like, even if they're not really that interested in learning about where all these traditions from Halloween came from, I would say go ahead and, get them to watch it. It's like they probably, it's like, you never know. They may be, I'm not interested, but they start watching it to be like, wow, that's fascinating. It's like, is this true? I never knew this kind of stuff. And it might get them interested in what Halloween really is, and, where a lot of these, traditions and things like that come from. But, I do feel like this is a pretty valuable film. And Ray Bradbury, he adapted his own book. He did make some changes. I have, read the book, and he did make some changes. Like, funny thing is, like, this is back in 1993. But if you go back and read the book, in the book, I believe the Jenny character was originally a boy, and I'm trying to remember. I think the boy's name was Sean, and it was a boy named, I think it was a boy named Sean, and he dressed up as the witch. But long before, long before the Hollywood of today or anything like that, they switched the character out. They changed, and this was Ray Bradbury doing it, and he adapted his own novel. He changed the character from a boy to a girl and everything else. And it makes more sense, I mean, it's like reading the book, you're kind of like, okay, that's fine and everything. But, it's like, yeah, if you're going to have a character be a witch in the story, it kind of seems like it makes more sense for it to be a girl. So, I mean, that's fine there. But also, too, yeah, I can't really, I don't know. Maybe one day they'll try to do a live action version of this. I can't really see it. I think it works better in animation because, there is so much fantastical elements in this story. And it's like if you tried to do a live action, you probably end up with quite a bit of bad CGI. And I kind of really hope they don't remake this. Just kind of leave it as it is. I mean, at least right now, you got the book, or at least a good portion of the book and everything else. So, but anyway, yeah, I really, I do like this movie, and I am a Ray Bradbury fan. I love a lot of his stories. Hell, I just finished listening to Something Wicked This Way Comes, and I was actually really surprised because I grew up watching the Disney movie, and it never occurred to me, because I guess because Bradbury, again, he adapted his own book, so I guess it never really occurred to me. It's like, I wonder what it'd be like, I wonder if there are any changes. And if you never read the book of Something Wicked This Way Comes, but you're a fan of the movie, I would actually encourage you, read the book. The book is actually quite interesting, and there's quite a bit of differences between the book and the film. I mean, obviously because it was meant, the movie's meant for kids and it was Disney, they had to change some things. And then also too, some of the elements in the book, couldn't really be done practically as they, back then. So it makes sense, but I would, yeah, if you're a fan of the book or you're a fan of the movie, Something Wicked This Way Comes, I would suggest reading the book. The book is actually quite interesting, and some of the differences and changes are quite interesting as well. But yeah, but I am a Ray Bradbury fan. I used to watch, Ray Bradbury theater, growing up and stuff. So, and yeah, this, I always remember checking the book for this out at my library as a kid and stuff. And I really do. I really do recommend this one. And it's not, I mean, obviously it's a cartoon. It's, it's meant for families and stuff like this. But, so it's not bloody. It's not gory. There's not, TNA or any of that kind of stuff in it. But, I think it's a very important film. And, like I said, because, you get to, it's trying to educate you on Halloween and what things mean and stuff like that. So I think, really much, it's very an important piece of work. So that's it. So if anybody took the time to watch this, I thank you for doing it. I appreciate you for doing it. I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, could you please leave it a like? And if you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe to the BodyBags channel. We have a different review. Yeah, we have a different reviewer, one for every day of the week. I am the Saturday reviewer, and this is so much fun doing this. And we got fun theme weeks coming up, and this month is my month, which I already decided we're gonna do. Well, I call it like healthcare horror, which is like like horror movies that take place in like hospitals or insane asylums or doctors' offices, things like that. I decided to go with that one, so that's gonna be fun. And next week we're doing, or yeah, this upcoming, or no. No, next week is Random Week, and then after that we're doing Warner Brothers, so got some good stuff coming there. But yeah, there's plenty of good stuff coming, so come on, everybody, let's have fun. So that's it. Take care, have a good night, and I'll see you all later.